Yeah, man. So, what's the deal? What's the goal for today?
Uh, so with what we talked about polling and some of that stuff, you'll see because I kind of want to fast forward through the lane, but I still want you just kind of glance at it, see if there's anything obvious.
Sure.
But lanes have been going better in general. However, that mid to late game, especially like if we get a lead, we have a hard time pushing high ground effectively.
Hmm.
Uh, I don't think the push on high ground effectively is a problem here, but I guess how we start and whether we stay for team fights, things like that, uh, a lot in the mid game, or if I'm using my time efficiently in the lulls in between fights would be nice.
Sure. I can fast forward through the lane. You want to send me that replay? Oh, no, you already sent it to me. I got it. Yeah, I'd already downloaded it.
Hmm.
Okay. So, what would you feel? How would you describe success today? I understand what you're trying to learn, but like, what would you like to feel or know leaving this session?
We have a 20K net worth advantage, how to end the game instead of letting us lose that lead, actually be behind at one point.
I see.
We did end up winning, but like just how to end when we've got that kind of advantage.
Yeah. So I remember I actually looked at your. I'll talk about your items later, but I did look at your like in-game screen and stuff, and I saw your items, and I'm going to talk to you about your items, I think.
Okay.
But we'll do that later. You're a 5 in this game. Okay.
I feel nothing.
I gave this Clockwork too much credit. He body blocked the camp like one time, and I thought he kept doing it, so he just had it warded, and I messed up for a little bit there.
Mm.
But
So, hey, so far in this lane, I'll just ask you a quick question. And I think this will be the main thing I say for your lane. How do you feel when you run into Clockwork in the jungle like this? Like, rewind, you ran into him here. How does this kind of feel for you when this type of stuff happens?
uh, honestly, I just didn't feel like I needed to trade. I was just trying to kind of stay healthy so I could back up Bloodseeker.
I see. Like, in these type of instances, like, how do I word this? Okay, I'll just tell you what I'm thinking. If your response to the enemy is to just run away from him when he finds you, play the opposite side of the lane. So I would
Okay.
want you being up here, clicking the Slardar.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Slardar's just a much like tankier hero, so I was just thinking with Leap I could get a little bit of distance and win the trade battle just by getting a couple clicks that way out of his range.
Yeah, so the entire point of laning is to control this area.
Yeah.
So what you're doing is really good if this guy loses the 1v1 really hard. So
Okay.
maybe this comes down to matchups, but most melees don't like love laning in Slardar. So like Slardar, for instance, if it's ever a melee offlaner, it's generally our job to click him. The
Hmm.
only time where we don't click the melee offlaner is if they have a ranged 4 who does more to our carry clicking him than we do to the offlaner clicking him. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to put in notes for your laning stage. Consider which person you should hit, not based on hero, like taking more damage, based on if I
What's best for
click
the carry?
offlaner, is that more damage than enemy ranged 4 hitting my carry? If it is a melee 4, oftentimes the question is, do you need to protect the carry where he is? So say the laning is like up here. If you
Hmm.
stand over here, Bloodseeker might get like wrapped around on by Clockwork, and that feels like really bad for Bloodseeker.
Right.
But with the lane back here, Clockwork doesn't really do anything to Bloodseeker. So The only time we mess with the support is when his annoyance to your core is more than your annoyance to the core. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because I do think overall we end up winning this lane. I feel, but it did feel like I was maybe wasting a little bit too much time with this clockwork. We could have
Yeah,
won it probably
so
better.
this is just so the reason why I'm saying this is because I know matchups really well, of course, and I know Slardar just really loves being 1v1 against melee heroes and hates getting clicked by ranged heroes. Like that's what he hates. So
Okay.
I'm telling you, like, I know in this matchup, but I'm hoping these questions can be more helpful for you in the long run. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Which it's like,
hmm
and so I'm going to fast forward through the rest of the lane. That was just the main thing. I felt like your focus was on the wrong guy here. And I wanted to give you a little bit
Sure.
more help on which guy to focus. So with the lane up this far, like I said, I would be playing on the side of the clockwork because we want to prevent him from zoning. Wow, that was ballsy. Okay. Wow. Okay. You need the pull off? Okay. Very nice. Good stuff here. Yeah, overall your lane's good. Okay, you're trying to pull.
Yeah.
Okay, it could be worse, honestly. The one thing as a support is you definitely don't look around the map enough.
Yeah, that's true.
Like when I see you walking back to this bounty rune, this is the time where I would want you to like right click the bounty rune and then during this time spend your time looking around the map.
Yeah.
So the way
I
that
trust the mini map too much.
yeah, so it's really funny. I told somebody in another coaching session that ever since I've been doing these coaching sessions, I'm like, shit, people don't look around the map enough. And then I'm playing my games and I'm like, shit, I don't look around the map enough. The thing is that I actually okay, so I'm making like a new video series and I'm calling it Dota 2 Mythbusters. I think I need to make a video. I'm literally realizing like in this exact moment. Generally when I do this, I'll extend the coaching session a minute or two. So I'm thinking that the Dota 2 myth in question is using the minimap for information is enough. I feel like
Yeah.
too many of us believe this. So
StarCraft did me wrong.
yeah, I mean, it's funny because it's much harder to actually manually click around, right?
Yeah.
And for me, my first thought is learning to move your camera comes from knowing how far ahead of time your next action is. So like in this example, like you can look around the map because you're like, I'm going bounty rune. And then you have, at 8:32 you decided bounty rune. You clicked bounty rune at 8:36, right? You clicked it at 8:36.
20
So
seconds.
so it's now 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? So and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna stack this camp. I've got 7 seconds.
hmm
Boom.
Yeah.
So like, learning how to move your camera comes from knowing how far ahead of time your next action is. So I'm just gonna put that in my document as well. But that's my basic advice for you. I think in this mid game portion is I would just want you collecting more information.
I definitely should have been checking on offlane more because our buddy was mid, and we typically have decent comms, but I could have been gathering more information down there.
What hero on your team does your hero synergize the best with out of the 3 cores?
Um, Personally, I think it's Bloodseeker because if he ruptures somebody and they man up, I hit him with arrow. If they're trying to run away, I let them out their own health.
I see. So the classic Mirana combo is OD, because he imprisons them and they sit in place for a set amount of time, and then you arrow them. So
That's really funny because there was about 4 times this game where I throw arrow and a half second before it hits, he imprisoned someone.
yeah, I mean, in general, like in the early game, I would be looking to play around OD at like almost every rune if I have Mirana. Like if I'm Mirana, you play a lot of Mirana. If the mid laner sets up my arrow, I'm gonna play around them a lot. So, you know, in this type of lane, it's worth considering like pulling small a bunch at the 45-second mark. So like 3:45, and then checking rune, or 5:45 and checking rune. Like it depends on the lane. Maybe in this lane you need to be with Bloodseeker more. But the idea that you didn't think to go mid a single time in the first 10 minutes when you're Mirana with OD, for me that was like, huh, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's fair. Uh, Usually, because that's our friend Rexar, he'll say like, hey, it's going really bad, but I do not go help mid enough at all. That's true.
The thing about party queue that's really detrimental, potentially, is I love that you guys are playing as a 4-stack. It's fantastic. I encourage you to keep communicating and all that kind of stuff. His communication to you should do nothing about you going to mid or not. Like,
Okay.
you can look at the heroes in the game. Like, that's the problem that party queue can kind of get in the way of sometimes, is solo queue, you forget combos because your teammates don't work with you. And in party queue, you just kind of forget what your hero can do in the game just by definition of the hero. You know, it's like Mirana has arrow. What hero on my team sets up the arrow the best? Play around that guy. So,
Yeah, that's fair.
my thought this game, like when I looked at
The draft?
yeah, sorry. I was thinking that the enemy team has a lot of stuns, and they have a lot of like long cooldowns. They have Haunt, they have Faceless Void shit. And on our team, we have a lot of fucking damage. Bloodseeker and OD are a lot of damage. Earthshaker and Wraith King are a lot of stuns from Earthshaker and a lot of durability from Wraith King. So my idea this game, if I were you, would be like, we've got a shit ton of damage, we've got a shit ton of stuns. I'm going to buy drums and a solar crest, and I'm going to fucking follow this OD everywhere he goes. Because he sets up my arrow, and that hero significantly benefits from attack speed buffs. So, like, I'm looking at your draft and thinking, we have a gajillion damage. Like, that's how I look at our draft. And it's not like the enemy team has super tanky heroes. Spectre's not really like a tanky hero anymore. She doesn't build that way, like, at least until hyper late game. And what I noticed in the post game is that you went Ags first. So for me, you know, I would want you to work on what does my lineup have? Like,
yeah, that's fair.
This is damage, stuns, healing, utility, which is like snowball and stuff.
How do you feel
Yep.
about I've really been liking Orchid and Bloodthorn on her because we don't typically play any heroes that have silences or things like that, and it seems like it's been very, very useful.
I don't hate Bloodthorn on Mirana specifically, but what I see when I look at your draft is a lot of damage, a lot of stuns, and they have no sustain, and they have no utility. So what I'm specifically looking at this game is, so I say healing, I'll put that as sustain. So my build this game is probably Drums, Solar, Greaves into Lotus. Because Lotus removes Slardar Corrosive, and it removes Faceless Void Time Dilation, which are two very, very powerful spells. And it's really good on heroes like OD and Bloodseeker because they generally only build one Dispel, which is BKB. They only build one. So, you know, I was looking at your build and I thought, I saw a lot of aggression. I saw an Ags. I think you built Bloodthorn this game.
Yep.
I I guess, like, I don't know how to best teach this right now because items are a bit complicated, but I would encourage you to look at what does my lineup have. Damage, stun, sustain. Stuns like for team fights. And then the other option is catch, which means for pickoffs. These are stuns for pickoffs. So, like, Wraith King has a stun for team fights, but it's not really a pickoff spell. But, like, Earthshaker has both. An example of a stun that isn't a pickoff is Tidehunter Ravage. Something like Venge Stun isn't good for pickoffs. Because most cores can just, like, dodge it or walk away from it. Stuff like this. I'm just mentioning that there's, you know, there's a big difference between stuns and catch. Catch is for killing people while they're farming. And then utility is a lot of, like, buffs, I would say. Utility is like buffs. So there's, like, no buffs on your team. That's, like, one thing I noticed. Like, none of your heroes buff each other. There's no, like, aura guys. There's no...
Build Vlad's, right? In this
Yeah,
one?
Vlad's is nice. So, like, for me, based on what I've seen with you, you probably over-purchase Vlad's. I think the general time where Vlad's is good is if you have a super ranged carry, like Muerta, Drow,
Okay.
stuff like this. That's generally when Vlad's is good. I'm trying... At the end of the day, I don't care exactly about what item you buy. If you were to buy Vlad's this game, I would be okay with it. But let me just... One second. So damage, stuns, catch, sustain, utility, I guess mobility would be... Mobility, wave clear is important, actually. I guess I would say save as well. Counter initiation. These are just random things. So I gave you this. What does my lineup have? I would start asking yourself this more question, like this question more often. And you want to give, like, a hero like Mirana, because I know you play her a lot. She's kind of a jack of all trades that just builds what the team needs. They need some damage, you go fucking Ags. You know, if they need a setup, you go Yules or Atos. If they need like sustain or utility, there's these other items. But go ahead.
That's good to know. Because I do probably like Ags more than I should, just because I do feel like I'm pretty good with arrow. And it feels like a really good nuke, so if I hit a good arrow, we can kind of just take somebody out of a fight.
I understand that.
But it's good to know why I should buy it. Our team lacks damage. That's a good cue.
Yeah.
Instead of it just being my default item.
I would say a combination of lacking damage and lacking wave clear, because that's what Ags gives you.
Okay.
So I gave you all these answers. So, like, I would want you to look at these and be like, what does Ags on Mirana do out of all of these, right? It gives me damage and it gives me wave clear. It doesn't give me any of the other things. You know, so catch, for example, is nobody on your team's going to set up your arrow and they can just split push to their heart's content. So items that give Mirana that is Atos and Yules, right?
Yeah.
So you'd be like, I'm buying Yules in order to get catch and potentially, I'll say utility buffs and utility defensive, which is dispels.
Like Lotus and Manta.
Lotus, Yules, Satanic, Manta. I mean, you're probably not buying Manta and Satanic because you're support, but yeah, the idea is there. Eon Disc. But yeah. So what I'm encouraging you to do as just a, like, you can look at your draft at the very beginning of the game, and you can do this in any way you want, but I would encourage you to rate these things. Like, we have a lot of catch, a lot of stuns, a lot of damage, but we don't really have any sustain. Wraith King sustains himself, and, like, Bloodseeker sustains himself if he kills somebody, but, like, you know, that's not really sustain. Sustain is like Warlock, Dazzle, you know, Necro, offlaners that build pipe and mech and stuff, like Darkseer and Underlord. Do we have utility defensive spells, you know? No, we don't have any saves. Like, we don't have, like, press the attack or bat and shield or Largo Q. We don't have anything like that. We have decent mobility, but not the greatest. But, you know, that for me, mobility is just something worth looking at, but it's not necessarily the most important. The point is I think if you were to look at this and have that factor into your items and start thinking about the items you like buying and which one of these they answer, I think your items will get better over time. That was my main concern for you in this game. And I know that the game ends up going late, but a lot of times the reason the game goes late, especially on support heroes, is because we didn't buy the right items.
That's fair. That's good to know. That's what we're trying to fix.
Okay. So, like, this is like a Mirana specific note. Which hero synergizes with my arrow the most?
Yep. Okay, that's good.
And generally, you'll play around them. And so then we start learning, like, oh, OD really likes buffs. So we go, like, we're going to follow OD around with drums and a solar. Oh, this hero really, like, enables me, but he doesn't have damage. So I'm going to go Ags, you know?
Okay.
That's how we'll kind of hopefully apply that over time. I think if you ask yourself the right questions, you've played enough Mirana that you'll get the right answers. And it's not as much about getting the right answers per se, but your items will make more sense to you. Like you rather than going for your preferences, you'll be more like dynamic. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's good because a lot of the times I do kind of fall too much into pattern.
Yeah. I mean,
I find something that feels good and I'll run it until a game where it's like this build did nothing and then I'll reconsider.
so there's two things. One, this build doing nothing could mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. So what I mean by that is that, for instance, I'm thinking we're up by 5k and we're not controlling runes. And my OD is like a lone mid for runes.
Mm-hmm.
So like if I think about doing nothing, I'm thinking like there's a Mirana farming a camp on the side of the map rather than playing for a rune. So for me, it's like if you're up by 5k, what we need to do in the game is close the map on the opponent. There's too many camps. We don't have to farm everything. There's just too many camps. So unless there's like a real reason why you guys can't fight them at all, this is not what you're doing. Like we want to be near somebody, like playing for crucial objectives. There's something all the time. When we have advantages, we can go for 14-minute wisdom, 16-minute rune, 18-minute rune, 20-minute tormentor, 21-minute wisdom shrine. There's like something we can be running at all times. You know what I mean?
I get you. I think I just took that first lesson when you were like, I'm going to get you to farm. And I focused on farm.
I see. So the main thing about farming, I don't want you to lose that, okay? I respect that you took that and were like, I'm fucking running with this. In regards to farming,
Timing is essential.
Your role is mainly to not let waves go unfarmed on your side of the map.
Okay.
So, like, I don't want you overly following cores when there's 8 creeps hitting this tower. So, here's what we're going to do. In regards to farming, your role is mainly not to let waves go unfarmed on your side of the map. Otherwise, like, if that is taken care of, question is objectives, okay? We got 2 minutes every rune. We got Roche between 17 and 20 if you can, because it's top. It's right here. So what that means is, like, the reason that's good is because if you do it between 17 and 20, then you can then walk to Tormentor like a minute later.
Yeah.
But this requires, I'll put everything in the notes. Requires a Roche hero. So like Ursa, Huskar, Slardar, you know, something that does a lot to Roche. TA.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
One thing I did notice about myself in this game is there's a couple times we won some fights on their end of the map, and I do need to get back. I kind of shifted. I went from like basically I bought every ward to I'm not buying enough now, and I need to,
Ah.
so that way I can. I still buy wards, right? Like, but I need to get back to, because I used to be like I'd be the highest support gold every game when I'd play Pause 5.
Hmm.
And then I kind of shifted when I started farming.
I got you. I got you. So here's what we're doing. So last time I gave you a generic farm more because I remember vaguely that you just weren't farming enough. And so
Never.
now what I probably saw in that session was not enough wave farming. And so now we're
That's fair.
being more specific. So we're doing a checklist here. Your role is mainly to not let waves go unfarmed. And then you have to think either we can't fight them or there is literally no objective in the game. So if it's like 1653, you know, sure, stack this camp. But there's 2-minute runes, there's 7-minute wisdoms, there's Roche. So for like the short term, I would say that you're better off just keeping it simple and saying, are the waves being farmed? If not, then I can make sure that's happening with my hero, right? If they are being farmed, who's the best core to play around?
Okay.
And usually that will be based off of synergy with you and objectives.
Yeah, and so then I was going to say, and the third would be, where's the next objective?
Yeah. Who is the best core to play around and based on synergy and what the objective is. So what happens here is that when you say doing nothing, what's really hard to convince people of is the stuff that they're theoretically missing. Because the things I'm telling you, if you clear waves and play around the right guy, good shit just happens.
Yeah,
Like,
that's fair.
OD sees a guy, he gets astraled, you arrow him, he fucking dies. And like, but he wouldn't die and maybe OD wouldn't feel comfortable walking up if you're not there. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of like hypothetical things that don't happen in the game. So when you're talking about the game going long, it's because we're farming jungle creeps rather than playing around OD, and then Bloodseeker gets picked off. So OD's fine here, right? But there's no pressure here. Like, he's not killing anybody. He's not threatening anybody. He's just farming. But when you get there, his astral turns into an 8-second stun, right?
Yeah.
And suddenly it's like, okay, if they kill Bloodseeker, whoever showed mid is going to die too. And these are the type of plays that if I kind of have this motto. I'll give you this motto. If we don't create pressure, they will.
Okay.
Okay? And pressure is in the form of kill threat, objectives, anything like that.
Yeah.
And so I like that you're trying to farm more, but like, here's the moment where you just went mid, got a kill, got a tower, and then there's a wave top.
Yeah.
So this is when we need you to have a TP, and then TP top here, clear this wave, clear the next wave, and join back your team through the gate.
Yep. Okay.
So once you make the
After
play,
team fights,
yeah,
check lanes.
yeah, once you make the play, whatever it is, could be team fights, tower press, anything. Look for waves. Yeah, look for lanes.
Okay.
Very simple guideline. You took it yourself. Sounds good. Okay, so we're following. Like, yeah, now we just want to imagine having like drums and like a Pavis and following this OD around instead of having like 10 strength, 10 agility. Because we want to be very active throughout the course of the game. Okay, so this is like fine. It's like a little bit too far up, but I'm not gonna worry about it too much. We're gonna fast forward. What's Wraith King got? Okay, cringe build for sure. Cringe. This guy's got okay.
He ended up being a little underwhelming.
Okay, so
And it's fine. I mean, everybody has bad games, right?
yeah.
And even after the game, he mentioned, and like we didn't flame him or do anything, but after the game, he was like, "I did nothing after mid game."
Okay, here's my note for you. Have one smoke in your inventory at all times. Who on your team initiates and should be smoked? I think you guys have 3 smokes in stash. Yeah. This is like, you want to know why the games go 60 minutes? You have 3 smokes.
Okay.
So what we
I-
need you to create is pressure and smoke the right guys. So I don't care if you were to smoke and it goes disastrously. Smokes are kind of difficult to use. But
Okay.
for me, what smokes are so good for in terms of learning the game is smoke means that we're doing something. Okay, like
Yeah.
this means we are all into doing something. What does that require us to do? Who does stuff on our team? Like, what abilities do we need? What items do we need? Like, what makes us strong? So for me, I'd be like, we're winning by 7K. We're fucking echo slamming some people. Go smoke her, shaker. And then we
Yeah.
smoke. And then from there, we can decide what we do. But I think the first step is, what abilities?
Just smoking.
Yeah, what abilities and hero do you need? Like, just try it out and go somewhere.
For this game, just looking at it, it kind of feels like I could smoke just about anybody on my team, and it would be beneficial.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say Bloodseeker's probably the least likely because he's just farming with a Mjolnir. But it's not even like, sometimes it's really good if you have a hero like Wraith King who's tanky and you just want to smoke your carry to behind that guy. Like, say Wraith King's like pushing bottom. So, okay. Smokes are for straight up ganks. So you think of like just kill combos. Or smoking where your team is making pressure. So that's
Forcing
going to teach you
rotations, stuff
to,
like that.
yeah, so what happens is if Wraith King's back here, there's no reason to smoke towards him. But if Wraith King's near this tier 2 tower and you're like, I want to fight with the Wraith King. Here, Bloodseeker, let's go smoke to the Wraith King.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah. So to join up with people, things like, okay.
So you'll start thinking about who on my team's creating pressure. I need to go to that guy. And then what we want is smokes are meant to kind of connect our heroes in the same area. So like in this exact freeze frame, I'd smoke you and Earthshaker and run at the Wraith King right now and tell OD to meet us.
Okay. Yeah.
Like that's what I would
That's
do.
cool.
And be like, hey, Bloodseeker, be ready to fight. And so your teammates can get like, because you guys are a party of 4, you can start taking command of the smokes a lot more. I mean, Earthshaker can do it too. It's fine which either one of you does. But when you guys do that, I want you guys to know that the idea of smokes, there's 2 types of smokes. One, you're like ganking an enemy carry on the side of the map and it's like 2 of you. Or the other smoke is one where everyone's kind of meant to they're meant to be able to be there. Like if we smoke towards Wraith King right now and I look at the map, I would want your teammates to hear, I might go to that. Like Bloodseeker might TP in and rupture somebody. OD might walk over and hit somebody. You know what I mean?
Like the randos, like say I smoked, because the Earthshaker and the Wraith King there was only 3 of us in this game.
Oh, sorry, Earthshaker wasn't your friend. Okay.
No, it's okay. So like I could smoke the Earthshaker and then ping Wraith King, so that way like Rex and Kika see it and they're like, oh, okay, I want to go to that or I don't want to go to that.
Okay.
Like, let them.
Okay, so gank smokes, say, you come with me, kill this guy.
Okay.
Team fight smokes sort of deal, like get people to fight together. Hey, let's smoke to this guy. Be ready, everyone else.
See, this is really useful because like I'm pretty sure at this moment in the game we literally were like, why is Wraith King up there?
Yeah. And we don't like, you want to be able to like spot these vulnerabilities and see them coming. Like you want to be like, I don't want this guy to randomly feed here. We're strong. If you see a guy that like looks out of position on your team, the question is, are we supposed to just let him die or are we strong right now?
Right. So if they're up 7K, we're probably just like, sorry, Wraith
Yeah,
King.
just let him die. Yeah.
But if we're up 7K, we're like, dude, we need to go do something about this.
Yeah, we can't let him just die there.
Okay.
I mean, if he's
That's
like
good.
so far away from you, you can't, like, if this guy's like fucking down here, it's like, okay, fine. You know? So there's like, but like, this is connectable by you guys. It's like, go here, go here. But the whole point, the number one fundamental thing, and you can watch this back to get more nuance about what we just discussed, have a smoke in your inventory at all times so that you're ready to capitalize on this type of stuff. Trust that awkward feeling you just described. That is often when it's best to smoke.
Okay.
When the map feels really awkward, people are scared. They like, you guys have ults and you're like, I feel like we should be doing something. I feel like we're under threat somehow. Like, these awkward feelings are when you smoke, generally speaking.
Okay.
So trust your gut on that one. Yeah, so you guys actually go help him, but it's like, I call this just a lazy play, you know?
Yeah.
OD wasn't there in time because we didn't communicate it. We didn't smoke, so Earthshaker was probably in vision and only got 1 or 2 heroes because of that. Fast forwarding. Oh, this is Wraith King's perspective. I was like, what's going on here? Yeah, I guess my main focus I want to point out to you is how much has happened in the game as you were building this Ags. You know, like,
A lot.
a lot's happened, and you haven't effectively gotten stronger as a hero between finishing this urn and finishing the Ags. And so when you're winning, the question is, if we're strong enough to fight right now, we keep, we dogpile it. Is that what you just said? Dogpile?
Keep the momentum.
Oh,
yeah,
keep the momentum. Yes, exactly.
Like, keep building it.
Exactly. You got it. There's 2 ways to have the game drag out: overextending and over passivity. And you guys,
I definitely think we were over passive.
yeah, this game was over passive. Yeah.
Because there was a team fight earlier. I think we could have taken that mid tier 2. We didn't even take it that time.
Okay. I have a video on this. Let me send it to you. It's kind of old. I actually can't remember. God, I need to save this fucking video. I need to remake this video. Because it's old and I'm executing my videos much better now. My point is that I wanted to tell you, rather than sending you the video, is in theory, if I were to cover your minimap at this exact moment, you'd tell me where each lane is and if it's pushing towards you or not. Like, that's a pop quiz you should be able to solve at every single moment in the game.
Okay.
So the reason I say that is because you don't stop at a jungle camp on your way to top lane and then be like, oh shit, I'm late. And then you TP. You would have noticed.
Yeah.
Here. You would have noticed
TP.
here that the lane's pushing in. And you'd be like, oh. And then you just run your way there. Or you TP there right now. Just depends on the game state. But this, like, walking here, and then I always judge people's sense of urgency, because when I look at you, if you stop to farm jungle camps, then your sense of urgency is low, right? If your sense of urgency needs to match the lanes. So, like, that's how people know if they're supposed to walk past camps and leave them unfarmed, or if they're actually supposed to farm the camps. Because if this lane was, like, back here, yeah, farm that camp.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. Any questions about that?
No, I think you kind of answered it, because I see a lot of like the videos, and it's tough because you get a lot of carries in your trainings, and they're like, you'll be like, oh, why'd you walk past that camp? And so a lot of times I'm like, there's a camp here. I'm on my way to this thing, so I farm the camp. So
quick explanation for that. Carries have a lot more items to clear camps.
Yep. No,
so, like, for camps, they'll clear it, or for carries, they'll clear camps at this stage of the game in, like, 2 seconds. And I'm like, dude, you walking all the way past the camp. You know, like, you know, you instead of taking 8 seconds to get to the lane, you're taking 6, and you're losing 100 gold. You know, but for you, it takes much longer. So.
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah, quick explanation for that.
We were trying to coordinate a Tormentor, but then a fight broke out, so we went.
Yeah, we got Roche. I think you having smokes and looking to play around the right core in 15 minutes into the game will have drastic impact on you guys closing these games out very fast.
Okay.
So, not last, but one of the last. If we are going high ground with a lead, 95% of games, we need 2 lanes pushed in. Exceptions are high split push lineups, and you lack stuns, like Anti-Mage or Nature's Prophet. Okay? So,
Okay.
when you guys go high ground, and I see this, and I see this, and I say no. I don't care if you're up by 30k. We push this in, take this tower. We have somebody TP top, push this in. We all go smoke to here, meet them here, take this tower. All 3 lanes are pushed in. We go high ground.
I'm just curious if any of that is due to the changes on like the armor buffs to the towers for stuff not being taken.
This, no. To be frank, it's been this way for a very long time.
Okay.
It's ever since they made the map big.
Okay.
So 2 years, two or so. I guess that's not a very long time for the average Dota player because I play a lot of Dota games. But yeah, for about 2 years. So when your team is grouped around a side lane like this, I'm giving you quick. These are like rapid fire tips, and feel free to apply them one at a time. Like you can spend all day thinking about these things, and you will get overwhelmed if you try. Team is grouped on side lane with lead. Someone cuts mid. Mid when you guys are up by 22.
Top.
No, mid. One side lane, somebody cuts mid. So what happens here? We rewind.
Okay.
But we rewind. We're at 38. UNOD would meet the wave right here and cut it. It's a crucial objective in the game of Dota 2.
It keeps it pushed in, keeps the pressure on them. Again, it's the pressure.
Yep. And also, during this time here, you guys aren't doing anything anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I just want you to clear this and then walk back to your team, and you meet this guy as he's pushing the wave. And then we have a nice little 5-man party here. And then at 34:15, somebody goes back here. And then we come here. You know what I'm saying? Like, 2 waves get pushed.
Yeah.
I'm giving you strategies on how to do it, though.
I do. That's easy enough. This is definitely one I'm gonna have to rewatch a couple times.
Yeah, I think with the way you guys play, I think I would encourage all of your friends to watch this because a lot of the stuff, like, they will get a lot of understanding of your smokes if they were to watch this and know what you're wanting them to do. You guys can even have discussions at the start of the game where, like, you guys can say, hey, I'm Mirana. I think I'm supposed to be playing around OD this game. Like, that seems like the best setup. Like, what items does your hero want? You know? Like, we can just have these discussions as a group. I'm trying to gut.
We need to do that more, because a lot of times I think when we talk about it, it's a little bit too late. And so it's more of a reactionary instead of us getting ahead of it.
Okay, I got you. So 99% of what I've learned in the last 6 months doing the dojo, because part of the dojo is trying to help people like be better teammates and communicate and stuff. The answer to 99% of our communication issues in Dota is it was supposed to be said before the game or after the game. And people are not talking during that time. So it tries to get said during the game and everyone gets pissed at each other. You see, not like friends necessarily, but it's like overwhelming maybe. And like a set of...
No.
Yeah?
You're good. I think, because we do have conversations during the draft and this and that, but I think it's a good point you made that, like, I need to, like, ask Rex, who's mid, and be like, hey, what makes your hero stronger or whatever? Like, what do you need? And then, like, things like that instead of just, like, because we have talked a little bit about, like, point of contact a little bit, seen a lot of your videos on that stuff, which I think we still struggle with, but we are considering some things like that. But I think we could probably simplify it, at least for now, and focus on, like, Solar Cross would be huge or whatever, you know?
Yeah, I think point of contact is a really nice concept, and I also don't want you guys to get over fixated on it because I think it's kind of like you trying to do pre-calc and you haven't learned algebra yet. You know, like because point of contact includes a lot of stuff. So a lot of the people I was talking to about point of contact were like 3 to 5K. So it's not like way out of your guys' league in terms of MMR, but it's like if you guys try to apply that, there's so many things that go into that. And honestly, some of the stuff I'm telling you now is going to help you understand that better just by proxy. And it would be very
Trial and
useful
error.
for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we're ahead, how do we lose? Question.
High valuable targets getting picked.
Yeah, our hero's dying.
Yeah.
When we're behind, how do we come back?
Find the most valuable guy and gank him.
What do you think about items in that regard?
Definitely smoke.
No.
And
What that means is when you're ahead, you buy many more defensive items.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. Okay.
You buy fucking lotuses, force
And
staves,
Sword
greaves,
Crest and-
solar, right? Because the only way they come back is by killing you.
Right. Okay.
But when you're behind, you're like, fuck, I'm going Brown Boots Blink on Legion, and I just hope we get a pick off. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, that's awesome. That's good.
yeah. So I think that will be your best guideline, because it's something where everybody gets that question right, but then I see like pure aggressive items on your part. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, like, yeah.
so that's the synergy I want to see, is like we need to, because you guys have been playing Dota together for a long time. We have a lot of knowledge that's just not materializing. You know what I mean? So we need to take
Yeah,
your current knowledge and just redirect it. You know?
Yeah, it's like we've got lots of like little bubbles of knowledge, but they just haven't kind of formed together.
Yes, exactly. That is exactly how I would word it as well. But yeah, I'd say we're about at the time. I think I've given you a lot of shit. I don't want to overwhelm you. Do you have any
Oh,
questions?
you're good. I guess just real quick, because my buddy Kika like almost always plays Bloodseeker if he's not banned, and I love it. He's very good with him.
Yeah.
But our mid, he mixes up a lot. So just real quick, if he's Necro, if he's Clinks, if he's Muerta in this exact lineup, who would I play around there? Just so I can kind of start thinking about it like that.
A lot of times you'd be like smoking with probably the Clinks towards the Wraith King, but if Wraith King's being like super passive, then I mean, all of those heroes you're listing are like pretty active heroes, but you would maybe you'd play around Clinks with an Atos.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's probably how I would play it. If you had this exact same lineup, Bloodseeker's gonna farm. You know, the Wraith King's a rando. Like, I'd still probably play around. Like, unless you can potentially smoke to the Wraith King if he's playing really aggressive. But
Okay.
otherwise, I'd be playing with the Clinks or the Muerta or the Necro.
Okay.
Yeah. Sound good?
I think for the most part, I mean, honestly, I think the best thing you said this whole time was the item builds based on winning or losing. Like that's gonna help me so much, I think.
We found the golden nugget then, because yeah, that's something where once we find the simple description of all the shit that I've been overcomplicating, that's when the ticket is. So if that registered with you, that's fantastic.
Because well, I feel like for the most part, uh, save for a night where I drank a bunch or whatever, like I feel like I hit arrow pretty good,
Yeah.
and a lot of the times I had kind of defaulted to this Bloodthorn Ags build because it saved us a few times, and it just feels good to have a silence on our team. But knowing like that we're ahead, okay, I need to build some stuff so I can make sure this guy stays in the fight longer, or this guy doesn't die because we're ahead or we're behind, and it's like, oh, okay, maybe Ags is like good there or whatever. Like, um, I think that's going to be big on us finishing some of these games early.
Nice, man. I think so too. Sounds good. Any final thoughts?
No, just thank you, and I look forward to Sunday morning.
Sweet, man. I look forward to it as well. I'll see you guys all there. It's gonna be all 4 of you, right?
Yep.
Sweet.
Yep.
Looking forward to it, man. I'll see you then.
Yeah. Have a good one.
You too.